We're talking pot.
Yeah.
It was good.
Dave.
All right, are we getting beyond the pot or what?
Let's
kick back and
let's get done with the pot. Let's get done with let's get done with the pot. Then we'll order pizzas. It's a little smoky.
I think you know what, everybody. I really think that thing with that terrorist is a big deal. I think that's a huge deal.
The Portland guy.
Well, the guy, the terrorist, that got convicted of one charge out of 249 charges. They wanted to do a military tribunal on him, and instead they brought him to a civil court, and the judge threw it out. I think that kind of got missed. I understand what Dave said.
He's still going to prison.
I understand he's going to prison, but, I mean, there's a big difference, 249 to 1, and they put him in this. I mean, the guy was a terrorist. He's an admitted terrorist.
Well, and they were talking about this. I think this was on Fox News Sunday. I don't know if you watched it this
week.
I
do watch that.
Did you see about the Democratic representative and the Republican
representative?
Yeah,
it was a
They
good.
both agreed that for the high, the high terrorists, they should be. I don't mean high as we were just talking about. The higher echelon terrorists, they should be in a military court, whereas
Lindsey Graham.
But with the presumption of innocence, they're not terrorists.
No,
they're just regular people.
Then the lower end, like this nut in Portland, who he should be tried in the civil court or in the criminal court. I think this is how they wanted to distinguish the terrorist, who he's still a terrorist.
Who was the guy in Portland?
The guy he was going to blow up the Christmas lighting, the Christmas tree lighting. Everything seems to be about pot. I've just realized this high lighting. Anyways.
Are you sure these aren't flashbacks
from
the LSD days? Or not that we're making any
I'm back in the
accusations.
70s. It's all 79 all over again. No,
Van Halen.
So the lower end, like the person, the American terrorist should be, according to I think the Democrat. I forgot her name. They just mentioned
Missouri or so. I saw Lindsey Graham. They were actually complimenting each other, weren't they? Yeah, it was really strange.
And they were. They were on the same page. For like where the trial should be for the terrorists.
Well, why did they? A lot of the things that the president promised, like closing Cuba thing, and he didn't do that. And I understand that he couldn't do it for a lot of different reasons. There's a lot of things that I don't think people understand behind the scenes. Dennis Miller was just beautiful. Did you see his new thing he was talking about? He says, and I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but one of the first things they do when you become president.
Try to make it PG, by the way, because I remember he did go a little off color, I think.
Yeah, he did. I can't. I
saw the HBO
some
special.
Of the things. Yeah, it was good.
It was very good.
But he said one of the things is that they tell you is, holy, here, this is what really is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, once you get elected.
Yeah, once you get elected, then they tell you what really happened in Iraq. But we're kind of all finding that out now with that Wi-Fi thing or whatever that. WikiLeaks.
What are your thoughts on WikiLeaks?
Hillary Clinton looks like a buffoon, but that's,
What did she say? 'Cause I didn't actually see
just basically saying that it was a espionage and it was bad and it hurts the negotiations and they're all their friends, and these are things that happen behind the scenes. It was her department that I got. Did you see it, Dave? They got more invaded than anybody else.
I didn't see what Hillary said. I just know the whole. It's embarrassing because a lot of the information that was WikiLeaked was like what the American. The diplomats thought about what the French, Sarkozy, what he thought about Sarkozy.
You know what I think about Sarkozy? His wife is hot, but go ahead.
I believe that's what it said in the memo.
That's relevant. Yeah, that's right.
I'm just telling you, that's the one thing I know about Sarkozy, other than I don't like him because he's French, which I better be careful.
Actually, the French have been pretty good since this new guy, since they got rid of Jacques Chirac or Jacques Cousteau or whatever his name was. Since they got rid of that guy, right?
Since they got rid of Bob Surratt, a lot of things have gotten better.
Well, Thomas, the Lithuanians don't like the French either, do they? No, I don't think anybody likes the French.
Does anyone like the French?
The French are nasty. My wife says they're nasty to everybody, is what I've always heard. She says that we're not the only country that hates them.
If you like cream sauces, you'll like the French.
When I go there next week, which, by the way, I'll be gone for 2 weeks.
To Paris.
I'm going to Paris next week to visit my daughter, and then we're going to go to Germany and see some friends. I am going to mess with the French. I'm going to walk around France going, Specke de Deutsch, and when they go, no, I'm going to go, that's because we saved you.
That's right.
That's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to get beat up probably. But my daughter was able to beat off some French guy as soon as it came out my mouth, it sounded bad. She was able to fend off a French attacker with a gun when she was there, and so we should be okay. We should be okay.
How do we get off on this?
Well,
no, but you know what? The message I got would be like us saying, sitting here having a real nice time with Dave, and then walking out and saying Dave's a jerk, and Dave did this and Dave did that, and it was recorded.
Right.
That's the kind of message that I got from this WikiLeaks thing. Not that you're a jerk, not as far as you know.
The private, anyway. I think one of the, I forgot what congressman said, the private who leaked this, who leaked all these 250,000 pages. I mean, I think he should be up on treason charges.
But he's not. But it's not treason. He's an Australian. He's an Australian.
It's espionage.
So
okay. I thought it was an American.
No. But he can be charged with espionage, which is a
smaller 1917 law. Is what they're talking.
Hey, whatever you got to do. To take that WikiLeaks a step further, from what I understand, that after the first of the year, they are going to be releasing documents from one of the major banks showing all the corruption.
What is this? Did he intercept like cable or something, or is there like a security leak?
I thought it just was like a low-level private, but apparently he was...
okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. There was a military guy that leaked it, right?
Yeah, but was he Australian? I thought he was an American private.
The president of WikiLeaks is an Australian, and they were talking about...
Okay.
That's what it was that I was watching this morning. I watched Fox and Friends this morning, actually. Bill, are you listening? I watched Fox and Friends this morning.
You know what I think about the WikiLeaks thing is, I'm in meetings with different groups about this, that, the other thing, and you sit down and you have private discussions and you bounce ideas off. It's sort of brainstorming. You say whatever comes to mind and you let it out there and you let it ruminate, and then you have discussions about all these things that come out. And then you formulate, hey, this is how we're going to move forward. So I guess
there's a lot of back room.
So I guess when I hear that, that we're getting all this stuff that went on in the back room, you have to take it with a grain of salt. People, will sit there, and I know I do this all the time, where I'll be having a meeting with my staff, and I'll say, hey, we have this problem. Here's a potential solution. Here's a potential solution.
Right.
Here's a potential solution. Now, I'm not telling you all what to do, but here's a bunch of different ideas. What do you think of these ideas? What are your ideas? And you just throw stuff out. So to sit there and analyze anything that comes out of there as, oh, listen to what so-and-so said, that's so terrible. Well, but when you're just throwing ideas out, you have to do that in order to find out what's good, what's bad. It just seems a little odd to me. What goes on behind
you remember when Harold
doors?
Washington was mayor, and he was in a room with a guy who wanted to run against Dorothy Tillman, and he was basically calling her all kinds of nasty names and
off the record,
and the guy recorded them. And I remember Harold Washington, and he made the statement, I go through holy hell in these negotiations and things. He says, I would have whipped the tar out of this guy had I known that he was recorded. So I agree with you. But how does this stuff get out? I mean, how does the State Department, the Hillary Clinton's office, leak it?
Yeah.
I think whatever administration's in office, I think the Republicans, I think that if they were in power, this would still be this is information that's hurting our troops overseas.
Yes.
So I mean, because this gets out, people are going to read this, and they're going to harm our soldiers. Not that they can't take care of themselves, but we don't need any added.
Some of the most interesting thing that's coming out of this is that our allies in the Middle East, or the countries that are most friendly to us, like Saudi Arabia, Egypt, they're sitting there saying behind closed doors, how come the U.S. hasn't taken military action against Iran yet? I wish the United States would take military action against Iran.
I saw that about Egypt.
Isn't that? But that's because they want us to do their dirty work. They don't want to have to do it themselves. But this concept that no one wants the United States in the Middle East. Obviously, there are countries in the Middle East that want us there in the Middle East because they're afraid of a nuclear Iran as well.
WikiLeaks points out that the same people who want us in the Middle East are also funding terrorists.
Hey, they're making a buck.
Terrorist organizations.
They're making a buck. Yeah. But I agree.
Hey, as long as we're talking about foreign affairs, did you see the king of Iran or the king of Egypt rented out the whole wing of the New York hospital? Did you see that?
Why did he do that?
He wanted his privacy. He took out the whole wing of the hospital.
Is he here for some sort of treatment?
He's getting some type of treatment.
Why didn't he go to Cuba?
I don't know. He
because
gone to
Michael
France,
Moore,
socialized medicine
Michael Moore says that the medical system in Cuba is second to none. Yeah. So what's he doing here?
I don't think Egypt and Cuba are friends.
Oh, okay, that explains.
Is it Egypt or is it Saudi Arabia? It's in the paper right there.
Really?
It said that he rented out the whole thing. So Speaking of healthcare,
yes.
What do you think our system's going to? You see all this? I showed you this thing now. What they're doing with now, you got to spend 85% of your healthcare dollars, your medical insurance dollars, on healthcare. I think I really do believe that what they're doing is they're destroying the healthcare system. That's what they want to do in this country. This is what this administration is. So
I don't believe that for a second, Tim.
No, I was with you at another station in February, and I said no, but now more and more as I see these interpretations are coming out, they want to get rid of our health care system
as we know it,
the way it is today.
Yeah, and you know, and I've told you before that, you know, sometimes when we talk about health care, I sit there and I in awe of the detail of how you understand it being in the delivery system, being in there, and I look at it from this just completely different perspective that this don't have anything to do.
Careful.
Doesn't have anything to do with health care. It's never had anything to do with health care, and now we're finding out more. Now you were telling me something before the show about how brokers and commissions, how they're going to how the insurance company is going to bring themselves into that cost by not paying commissions, or
historically you've got a percent. I am an insurance broker. Historically you got a percentage of whatever the premiums were, and it was built in. If it's under 50 people in Illinois, it's built in. You can't change it. You can go direct. You can't change it. If it's over 50 people, it's typically a flat amount, 3%, 4%, 5%, and it's negotiable. We got a letter today from a large insurance company.
I want to interrupt. So when you, as a business owner, are working on a deal, you, under the system before the changes coming into effect now, you were able to project your revenues based upon a deal you were working on. Is that correct?
Well, you could, yeah.
Okay,
I know that's what most people do. I don't.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay.
You pretty much. My business, we took standard commissions, whatever the commissions were. Now what we have to do is we have to go to the client and we have to say, Mr. Edwards, you know, we'll do this deal for you, put this deal together, but you're going to have to pay us X amount of percentage on top of what the quote is. So let's say that they told you that the quote was $500,000 and I want to put 5% into it or 4%. I got to put 20 or 25% into it separate from that. Or you can go direct to the company and get it.